Hello.
Hey, is this Ryder from Mohawk Lodge?
Scott, what's going on, dude?
I'm doing great, man. What are you up to is the better question.
I'm on a bike, biking down Queen Street, so we're going to do it on the move.
Oh, all right. This is going to be a little bit of an adventure because I love my sound quality to be good, and we're going to be rolling the dice today.
Okay. Are you recording this, or is it just so that you can write it down, or what's?
No, this is going to be on the radio. I'm sort of warming you up, as they say.
Okay. Well, I'll stop.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. Where are you heading to?
I am heading to Trinity Bellwoods Park in Toronto here to meet up with Eamon McGrath so we can talk about girls and girl problems.
Uh-oh. Which one of you is having the girl problems?
Oh, which one of us isn't? We're doing a 15-minute interview?
Yeah, is that too long?
Oh, well, let's see what we do.
All right. Welcome to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host, and today I've got Ryder from Mohawk Lodge on the line. Hi, Ryder. How's it going?
Scott, how are you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm doing not quite as good as you. Whoa. Welcome to the show. I'm going to jump right in there because, as you said, you're on the move. So, Crimes is the record. Can you tell me the story behind that album?
The story. Well, it got started a couple of years ago. It was went through a bit of a breakup, as we all do. And, yeah, I guess that's the story. A little inspiration for some of the tunes. Yeah, that's, it's funny because, like, we just got back after, like, 3 months of shows, and we just started to write the new one. And just in this last week, like, I'm so excited about the new tunes that you know, Crimes is now old to me. And, yeah, you know, it's a breakup record full of ditties.
Well, you can't really answer like that. Well, I mean, you can. I can't force you to say what you don't want to say. But in the press release for the record, it goes into details about the story. And I'll just start here. You ended up in jail because you found an ex and a friend together, and there's songs in the album that detail this. So anyone who listens to the record is going to know in some detail.
It was a very dark time, and I don't want to go into details, but yes, I don't know, long drawn out process.
Why is it easier? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Why is it easier to talk about these things in music than to people?
Well, it's a bit uncomfortable. Like, I reached a very dark spot, and probably the darkest point of my life. And yeah, it's great fuel for tunes. But once the fucking clouds have lifted, you don't really, I don't really want to. Like, it's just a story. I wore that story out through a ton of songs by wearing out my friends, and the story's done. That chapter's done. So I don't know. Time to move on.
All right. Well, I'm with you. I can't wait to hear the new record, but since it hasn't been made yet, I want to talk a little bit about the previous record, Crimes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, the story culminated with you being taken to jail at the Main Street in Vancouver, and one of the songs talks about that. Was the song actually written while you were being held?
It's probably in my bones. No, I mean, I spent a day. It was funny because it was actually the first date I'd had, since that had happened months earlier, and I'd walked in on a certain on things happening with an ex and the next member of the band, and I tried to cross the border. It was actually we had gone on a first date, and she found out we had a cabin down in Port Roberts. So she was like, Sunday night. It's like, oh, let's go down to this cabin. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a great idea. And anyway, we got to the border, and they held us for like 2 hours. Then they shipped me down to Maine and Hastings because apparently my lawyer was supposed to. I don't know. It was a big mix-up.
Sure.
Needless to say, it was one of the most interesting first dates ever. Me getting taken away in a cop car. So
fair enough. But I don't want to talk over you.
I was just gonna say, like, it was amazing in that we don't generally appreciate our freedom, and fuck, I was so happy leaving after. It wasn't long that I was in there. It was like 24 hours, but getting thrown in with some very interesting, colorful characters, and I never appreciated freedom like I had after and going through that one.
No doubt. So back to my question, though. Are you one of those guys, you find yourself there held in the, I guess, jail, or what do they call it? Held in the holding cells, who's like, you know what? This is a bad experience. While I'm waiting here, I'm going to sit down and write a song. And I asked that question. Whoops. I asked that question because you're one of those guys who is all about music. You've been in several bands. You have your own record label, et cetera, et cetera.
No. It was like I haven't been bored. When you run a label and you play in bands, you're never bored. You always feel like you could be doing more. And when you're stuck in cell with like 5 crack dealers out of Surrey, and there's not even a fucking lid on the toilet, and you're literally like, there is nothing to do. And the conversations I had it was just amazing. It kind of blew my mind, but I mean, it's people that have been in and out of jail, and it was something else.
Do you keep in touch with any of those guys?
What's that?
Do you keep in touch with any of those guys?
Oh yeah, they play on the new record. Hey, you're listening to Ryder from the Mohawk Lodge on The Interview Show.
In the world can't bring me down. Just when you think that cop shop down the block to the bar. The cool breeze and the colors in the streets and your lucky stars.
You're listening to Ryder from the Mohawk Lodge on The Interview Show. Oh, man.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm walking down Queen Street here.
I don't want to beat it to death, but I have to ask, has the ex-band member and the ex-girlfriend, have they heard the record, and what do they think?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't seen or talked to either in 3 years, so, there you go.
Fair enough.
Who knows?
The album tells a story pretty much in a linear progression. Was it your idea to tell it just sort of as a straight-up story?
You know what? Honestly, it was just like, those are the songs that came out, like, there was probably about 20 tunes that all happened in a, you go through these, like, writing waves. And, I usually write tunes, like a lot of tunes, where, there's a couple nuggets of the song, but it's not until, like, we're getting down to business to actually recording that I go in and spend, like, 3 weeks just doing lyrics. And so they usually come out, there usually comes a theme throughout the record based on that, But, yeah. I don't know if I answered that one either.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So the album ends on a bit of a positive note. It sounded like you sort of had a new lady on the go. So when you date women now and they sort of hear about how, your relationship woes can literally weave their way into your music, do they expect a record about them?
Who knows? But there's been one lady recently, and she's definitely got a couple songs to her name. But my goal is to make this next one's going to be more of it's going to be pretty funky, actually. I don't know about funky, but it's like it's pretty soulful, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few tunes like that, but I'm hoping this one's got a little more light in it.
I don't know. I think Crimes is a great record, so another one like that wouldn't be horrible. Although I think for you, it might be difficult to live through.
Oh man, yeah, I don't need to ever do that again. But good lessons came out of it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now you used to be a Vancouverite, and now you've moved to Toronto.
I have to say, like, I love Toronto, and and it feels more like home to me than Vancouver does these days.
Cool. So what is it about Toronto that's made you feel at home?
I don't know. It's just a very serendipitous city. Like, you walk down, it's kind of more like a small town. Like everybody that I know lives, within 10 blocks of me, and it seems to be like half of them are doing fairly well in the music industry, and everybody's just really productive, and it's just inspiring. I don't know. Vancouver's like everybody's trying to hold on to their one little piece of the puzzle, whereas, Toronto, like, people invite you up on stage, and, I've played on stage with some people that I, really respect just out of the blue, and it's just cool. It's just a little more open. Maybe that's because I spent a lot of time at the Dakota Tavern, which is probably my favorite venue in the country, and it's just it's run by musicians, and it's a great vibe, and yeah, it's just fun. Hey, you're listening to Ryder from the Mohawk Lodge on The Interview Show.
Don't tell no one. Don't say you love me, I swear I'll run right out your window, out into the sun. Oh, faster than you can. Drive you away down the coast. We'll find somewhere to stay. Oh, love is a black hole where all the good things go. Where all the good things go. You know I love you, I do. Just don't believe it. Oh Lord, what are we gonna do?
Faster Than You Can. Yeah, I'm actually really proud of that one too, because it's the only time I've ever recorded vocals live off the floor. Hey, you're listening to Ryder from the Mohawk Lodge on The Interview Show.
Okay, so you're the guy that's the head of White Whale Records, and you've recently signed Eamon McGrath, who's a young talent, to your label.
Yeah, well, it's been 2 years now, but yeah, I mean, Eamon's amazing. He blows my mind. I'm actually trying to find him right now in this park, Trinity, Bellwoods, so that we can drink a bottle of wine, talk about talk about new lady concerns. And yeah, I mean, he moved in with us over the summer, and we went to Europe together. And you know, he ended up pretty much writing most of the lyrics on one of the tunes on that new record, Crimes, while in the backseat of our van. I was like, oh, I'm having a bit of trouble with this track, and he was just like, oh, what are the chords? And banged it out in like 5 minutes. Cold Hearts came to be. And so yeah, he's an exciting dude.
I've been down that road. I don't know where that road goes. All the street lights, they shine with the darkest glow. All the buildings from a city I don't know.
Cold Hearts. I mean, the song was written, and then it was just like, you know what, I'm not super happy with the lyrics. They're like very one-dimensional, and he just picked them apart and, yeah, gave it some life.
Cool. So he's like a young guy, and you're a guy who's seasoned in the game. What's it like? What's it like being a mentor?
I don't know if I think we're mentors to each other, but I'm just in a great place to help him right now, and it's he plays in my band in the Mohawk Lodge out here. He's the lead guitar, and I play in his band. It's the Eamon McGrath project, and I play bass in that, and we just have a lot of fun. Like his best friend Peter plays in both bands as well, from Edmonton, and the two of them, they're just amazing musicians and like really fun to be with, and it's nice to be playing music with people who want to be playing music and who have a ton of drive and are just super excited about everything. And yeah, I mean, it's just sort of like, again, it's just right place, right time for where he's at and where we're at. And yeah, it's cool.
Since you guys are teaching each other things, what's one thing that he's taught you and one thing that you've taught him? Well, he's taught me what it means to be prolific and just not to like hold on to the little details. So you just gotta like shit songs out. You just like, he sits down, he writes at least a tune a day, and he doesn't overthink stuff. Whereas I have a tendency to overthink everything. When it comes to a record, like we had the whole last record remixed, and worked on it for a good year and a half, almost 2 years. Whereas like Eamon's last record, he recorded in about 6 days, and he's already 20 songs into a new record in 4 days. So it's like, it's just that's what he's taught me, and what I've taught him probably. I probably shouldn't comment on that. I don't know. My main function is giving him direction and just, steering his ship in the right direction. That was a vague answer compared to the first part.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you'd have to ask him that. I'm not sure.
All right, well, fair enough. I really appreciate your time today, Ryder. I hope that you managed to find him in the park and you guys get everything sorted.
Oh, we're going to be sorted very quickly.
Good.
I've got a very large bottle of wine, and yeah, this should be fun.
Good stuff. Before we go, I would love it if you could take a song off the record and explain a little bit about it as I bring up the music.
Oh, geez, what do we want to play? Well, Done Fighting was the song that literally happened the day after a bunch of stuff happened. Not another chapter, but like it was probably the first song written for the record, and it's just about it actually came after the night before. I was super torn up, and a friend of mine, Mark from October Man, lent me a Bruce Springsteen DVD, and I woke up the next day and like that song came out of it, and it's probably pretty heavily Springsteen influenced, but it's probably the first song written for the record and one of my favorite songs on it. Hey, you're listening to Ryder from the Mohawk Lodge on The Interview Show.
Great. Well, I hope the next record charges its way into your head. Thank you very much for your time.
Scott, thank you.
waking up to fuck around. Everyone I know's had the run around, shaking up and cut loose. Everyone I know's had to go through it. Everyone I know's had the run around. I can't talk, I can't call, I can't do nothing at all. I can't rock, I can't sing, I can't